For my Chicago Bears, I looked at this offseason and I felt like it was one of these critical moments in time. Gone is John Fox, thank God. They've already got their young quarterback in the midst in Mitchell Trubisky. Whether he's the guy or not, let's hope to God he is, but we don't know yet. And we can't really judge anything based off of his rookie season with the lack of offensive talent he had around him and the idiotic coaching he was dealt with in terms of Dowell Loggins, the offensive coordinator, and John Fox, the head coach. You really can draw nothing from it. You just don't know. But they've got the young quarterback. Now they bring in the young, offensive-minded head coach from the Andy Reid coaching tree and Matt Nagy. It's an exciting time when thinking about the potential of the possibility of what could happen for the Chicago Bears going forward. It could go any number of ways. But this offseason here, especially with the amount of salary cap space the Chicago Bears have and the needs that they have, it was going to be critical for them to not only make moves, but make big moves, make the right moves, make smart moves. And my number one target, my number one goal for the program for the Chicago Bears heading into this offseason was being able to sign Allen Robinson in free agency. I mean, this is a guy, former second-round pick out of Penn State in that great 2014 wide receiver class. He had some success in Jacksonville, and for God's sakes, that was with Blake Bortles as a starting quarterback. I don't care what the Jaguars fans and the Blake Bortles facts people want to say, the Blake Bortles truthers. Blake Bortles sucks. He always has sucked, and up to this point, he still sucks. But Allen Robinson was still able to produce. Now, knowing that early in 2017, he tore his ACL, not the ideal way to enter a contract year, but still, for me, a guy in his mid-20s that's shown he has the capabilities of being a number one wide receiver in the league. The Jaguars, for some reason, did not franchise tag him. I look at this and I say, this is a rare opportunity to get a game-changing type of guy. No, one wide receiver is not going to move the needle significantly. It's not going to be the be-all, end-all, but it is a statement. It is a start. It is saying that the success of the future of the organization hinges upon the young quarterback Mitchell Trubisky. And in order to get him to possibly achieve his potential, you need to help him out. Well, the Chicago Bears, and I wasn't trying to jinx it, and I wasn't trying to talk about it until the reports or rumors were confirmed, because frankly, I didn't want to put the old Jeff's jinx on it. I did not want to screw this up. I was hoping and wishing and praying for it. But I feel confident now that I could say is that the Chicago Bears have got job number one done, and they've got Allen Robinson agreed to a contract. Holy Jesus, I'm happy. And then when I find out that they've signed Trey Burton and Taylor Gabriel, it's like you get another weapon at tight end, a guy that can do some different things. Then you bring in a slot receiver, an athletic guy like Taylor Gabriel. You know, not a super dynamic, explosive, big-time player, but he can make some plays for you. Now you've brought in a number one wide receiver, a receiving option at tight end, and then you bring in a slot receiver. The Bears, in one day of free agency, have significantly upgraded the receiving core. The work is not done. This should not be the be-all, end-all, but it is a start. It is a nice start. It is a great kind of reassuring start to me for a GM in Ryan Pace, who, frankly, the past couple of years in free agency, his record has been kind of spotty. You've had some good signings and some not so good signings. This right here, this first day of free agency for the Bears, is the most pleased I've been with Ryan Pace during his tenure as general manager in terms of free agency. I absolutely love the aggressiveness of going out and saying, this is our guy, and we're going to get him. And the Chicago Bears did get Allen Robinson, and what's so crazy to me about this is Allen Robinson is better than Sammy Watkins, period. I don't care what anybody says. Yet the Chicago Bears, because of the fact that he's coming off of a torn ACL, were able to get him for less money over 3 years, for less guaranteed money than the Kansas City Chiefs ultimately paid for Sammy Watkins, who is a more one-dimensional, an inferior player who has more of a lengthy track record of durability concerns as opposed to Allen Robinson with the one ACL injury. Now, sure, there is risk. Allen Robinson might struggle to come back from the ACL, although we've seen more and more with guys when they tear an ACL, it doesn't take as long to come back, and more guys come back closer to them old selves. Sometimes they come back better because they're able to focus on other things. But either way, the Bears had to do something. With a receiver class in this upcoming draft that lacked to me a big, clear-cut type of top-notch, can't-miss weapon, Bears clearly, apparently to me, have determined that they're not a fan of the receivers in the first round or second round. And maybe part of that is being gun shy after what happened with the Kevin White situation, after taking him in the first round in 2015. I don't know. They wanted a more proven commodity. The fact is they needed to get better around Mitchell Trubisky, and today the Chicago Bears did just that. It is not the end of the road to making this team better. It is not the end of the work. It is only the beginning, but nonetheless, it is a good beginning. The Bears get a number one wide receiver and significantly upgrade the receiving core in general with the additions of Trey Burton, with the addition of Taylor Gabriel, and all the while they didn't have to break the bank. They had money to spend, so you're going to sit there and look at these other guys and they got 4-year deals. Yeah, it's all about the guaranteed money, and it wasn't that much, and they had room to spend. They needed to make sure they got their guys. And when I think about Nagy and the offense that he runs, I envision Trey Burton being a really good fit. I envision Taylor Gabriel being a great fit. And I envision Allen Robinson being a good fit. But it doesn't matter what type of fit, because Allen Robinson is a talent that should transcend the system and should be able to produce no matter what. Now, as we look ahead to 2018, and maybe you help out the offensive line a little bit more, and you look at the running game with Jordan Howard, and Tariq Cohen, all of a sudden you look at the Bears, maybe you can get one more wide receiver. You feel a lot better about their chances offensively. They won't be pathetically predictable. They might be able to put some damn points on the board. This might be a team that if they hit the draft right and they can do one or two things on the defensive side of the ball in free agency, this might be a team that can start thinking about playoff contention in 2018. And no, I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid that much, because if anything, I'm as much of a hater on the Bears as much as I love them, as much as anybody can be sometimes. But the fact is, when I look at this team, I'm excited for the direction, because this was the number one wide receiver available that the Bears could go after. They didn't have to give up draft picks to get a Jarvis Landry. They got a true blue number one outside type of wide receiver in the prime of his career. Yes, coming off of an ACL injury, but that's not the end of the world. And they got him for less money than Sammy Watkins. Why the hell wouldn't I be happy about this? Bear down. At least for one day, the Bears did something right.